This is Mohammad Abu from Visual Edge, and today we are going to create an abstract looping animation inside of Blender. So fire up your Blender and let's get started. Alright, so let's start by not deleting the default cube, or we will delete the camera and the light by hitting X, and let me on the screencast keys for your betterment so that you can see what keys I am pressing. So we will not delete this cube and we will take a cylinder first of all, and like here we will increase its vertices to around 100, and we will increase the scale by hitting S and dragging. Just drag this cylinder and we will scale down at Z position. So it's S and then Z to scale it down like this, just S and Z, and then we will zoom inside. So this is our basic look. We will shade this smooth, and if you are having this shading issues, just go to the object data properties and under normals, here object data properties, turn on the auto smoothing option, and there we have a complete smooth cylinder. And now our modeling part is done. That's it. Yes, now we will head up to the shading workspace. I'm using EEVEE render engine over here, and we will switch it back to the rendered mode, EEVEE, and we will turn on bloom, screen space reflection and ambient occlusion. We're gonna need 3 of these. Alright, so now let's create a new material for the cylinder, and first of all we will make the base color to complete black. We will increase the metallicness, we will decrease down the roughness, and first of all we will search by Shift A Voronoi texture. Plug this distance socket inside the base color, and there we go. And for that, hit Ctrl T if you have the Node Wrangler add-on installed, and plug this object texture coordinate into the mapping node. Remember, object coordinate is your best friend. Now search for a color ramp node, connect this between Voronoi texture and change the fall off to constant, and just pull this white handle up to your liking, and we will change the type to Chevychev, and just little bit of tweaking according to your mood. Just a bit, and then we will change the color of the black to whatever you like. I am choosing quite a good green color, and the white ones left I will make that complete black. And then we will disconnect that and connect it again to the emission node, because we want the green part to emit some lights. Now let's tweak this a bit. I want to flip this thing. So what we can always do is, let me get a good green color first. After we are done, we can always play with randomness to get different kind of look, and yeah, of course the scale. It depends on your creativity. So now I want to flip this color ramp because I want the black part to be more of visible. So just a bit, and there we go. I like this look very much, and this was also in my original version. So we are done with the cylindrical part, and we will head down to the cube. Then again, this time we want a Musgrave texture, and we will be animating that Musgrave texture up very soon. Just take a Shift A and Musgrave texture, plug the high socket into the base color, and there we go. Now hit Ctrl T again, and again the object texture coordinate. Just plug the object to the mapping node, and now just we will play like we will decrease the scale. And now it totally depends on your creativity or what type of a look you want. If you want the detail to much high, you want it very sharp, then decrease the dimension and increase the details, but not everywhere. Play with the details until you like it. I think that this is too much. Just a bit. And yeah, now I want this to be stretched, so we will increase the scale like this. You can have a very great weird looking stretches, and then we will animate it rotating. I am good with this. And now again we will attach a color ramp node. Just move it aside, take the linear fall off to constant, and just pull this a bit. Good. Now let's change the color to red. Good orange or red color. And we'll again disconnect this. Right click for disconnecting. Alt and right click. Color this color node into the emission. And why this is fading? The reason is the base color. The base color is white. Just change the base color to black. And there you go. Well, it's too red for now. Let's change the metallicness. I want it quite metallic and quite reflective. I want this quite orange, like in original render, which I did. That was a very orangey look. Well, you can always play with the details. Alright, so now we have reached the point of the original render. Now again, let's go to the layout. Now we want our camera rig to rotate around the model, but before that let's add a bevel modifier to the cube because it looks quite cool. Well, you can always change the geometry types or the profile, or just change that to angle if you have a complicated model and you don't want your bevel to apply it at every single edges. And I want this to be on edges, not vertices. It will look quite weird. I'm just showing you several things which you can have for getting your look. So for animating, let's give it a timeline. Just click and drag at the bottom like this to get another window, and then just change that to timeline. And now we have a timeline. Now I want this animation to be around 5 seconds. So first of all, we'll go to the output tab and change the frame rate to 25 fps, and we will have 125 frames. So it will be a complete 5 seconds loop. There we go. And now for looping, first of all, we need to go start from the 0th frame because I don't want the last frame to repeat 2 times. It will look like a pause. I want it to be freely moving. Now I want it to rotate around the cube, the texture. So we can change the X position, rotation I mean. Right click and add a single keyframe at the 0th position and go to the last keyframe, and then rotate it 360 degree to make it a complete loop. Just right click and insert a single keyframe, and now if we hit play, there we have it, a perfectly looping animation. But it is under a Bezier curve. The fall off is not linear, so we will just take the keyframe. First of all, select the mapping node before you do anything. Click on the mapping node and then hit T on the keyboard, and then click on linear. And now if you hit play, it is not going to stop at the end, and it will continue like a perfect loop should be. Alright, now we are done in this part. Now we need to set up a camera rig, and here I am going to tell you about a glitch which you will face. First of all, let's take a circle curve. Under curve, take a circle and then hit S and pull it. This should be fine. Alright, now we want a camera, but first of all let's select all and hit H to hide everything and take a camera. I don't know why, but it's facing at a weird. And now take a empty, and let's first change this camera settings. Hit N and go to item and then just zero it out, and now under the X tab I will put that at 90 degrees, so that's facing properly upwards. And now we want the camera to be parented to the empty. Select the camera first and then empty, and then hit P and click object. And now it's completely tracked. And now hit H, Alt H to unhide everything, and select the empty. As the empty is parented, if you move the empty, the camera will automatically move with it. And now I want this to follow the path of the curve. But for that we need to add a constraint, and there I'm going to introduce you with a glitch. If you hit 0 and then go to the camera settings and give it a quite wide angle of 30 millimeter, it is going to look good. And so this is how it's looking at the rendered view. Now let's take the empty, go to the constraints tab, and then give it there are so many constraints, give it a follow path constraint, and then from the pick whip tool select the Bezier circle. And now here is a glitch. Now if you have a look at the camera, where the camera is, oh, it's there. Well, you need to take the camera, and fixing the position up axis does not fixes the thing. Like if you change the offset, it is not going to change its offset. So what you have to do, nothing will help, no influence of the offset. You need to take the up axis as it was. These all things settings are not going to work anyways, so make it Z again, and then you have to manually take that camera and put it above the circle. I don't know why. If anyone over here knows about this glitch, please inform me the fix. Just position that camera over there, and well, now it will, if you change the offset, it is going to follow the path. You cannot see here because it's not shaded yet, but yeah, it is moving. Well, hit the 0 and the numpad for going to the camera view, or leave the camera view anytime. Look, it's perfectly moving now. Now we have done our camera setup. Now we want the camera to follow the cube, to see always the cube. So we will add another constraints. Select the empty, not the cube. So first of all, let's have a look. We need a track to constraint to use. Just select the empty, go to the object constraint and give it a track to constraint, and then use the pick whip tool and select the cube. Now here is another glitch. Well, this is not a proper glitch. We need to zero out everything. Look, and in the same case, nothing is going to help once again. If you play with this, I don't think anything will happen. Just select the camera and rotate manually. I'll get a 90 degrees. Alright, now we are done. And now if we hit the empty and go to the follow path, we can animate the offset. Now at the 100th offset, it completes the follow path thing around the Bezier circle. When it completes 100 offset, like 0 to 100 means a complete follow up to the path. We'll go to the 0 frame and right click and insert a keyframe again, and then we will change that to 100 to complete a complete circle, and then again right click and insert a keyframe. And now if we hit play, we have a perfect looping animation, and once again it is on a Bezier easy to ease fall off. So just hit T and give it a linear fall off. And now if we hit play, we have a final effect. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and if you learned something, don't forget to share, like and subscribe the channel. And if you want anything, just comment, and if you have any doubts, then don't forget to comment. Until then, bye bye.